Don't spend your orbs. Much easier said than done, obviously. Today was a great opportunity to do one of these videos once again because we happen to have a lot of banners that are ending relatively the same time, one of which ending in a day. So that means a new banner's on the horizon. In the Discord, I asked a very simple question. How many orbs do you currently possess? And as you can tell from the results, the vast majority of you guys barely have any orbs. I'd say that's a good, almost half of you, well over half actually, have less than, like, for say 30, even 20. Damn, dudes. Do you even watch my videos? So, I'm going to talk about how to save your orbs. And I think one of the first tips is to know who your favorite character is. If you know who your favorite character is, that is clear enough motivation to save your orbs specifically for a banner for that character. Mine happens to be Ike, and due to my saving habits and what have you, I somehow magically got 5 sword Ikes. What did I do? I merged them all together and I couldn't be fucking happier. How insane is that? So now I'm just gonna do one of these many chain challenges that I have yet to complete, which is actually a major source of orbs other people have done already and utilize. I haven't even done most of these yet, which is funny. But moving on to the next tip is to treat your orbs as though they were actual cash, actual money, actual currency. Wait, you say that you spend your money frivolously the same way you do orbs and you're always broke? Shit, son of a damn it, You realize you just put my entire script in the garbage, right? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it may help at least some of you out there to kind of imagine that you're spending actual money. Like, for example, oh, hey look, a Hector. I don't really need to spend my orbs on that because I already have, I don't know, a bunch of other characters. Like, oh, you know, having a nice cold bottle of Coke would be nice, but I'd rather save that like $1.50 for something down the line, right? So it's good to have a clear goal in mind. Whether that may be a favorite character or a favorite series or something you're specifically looking for, like maybe a Hector, you know, something, maybe a skill you want, like Armored March, Amelia, or trying to make a flyer emblem, and you don't have Hinoka, and you missed some of her focuses. Maybe that would be your goal, and you would be saving orbs in anticipation of achieving said goal. Understood. Another good reason to save your orbs is potential bad luck. A lot of us out there don't feel particularly lucky or feel like the orbs are, or the odds are stacked against us. Freudian slip. And whenever you do a poll, you don't feel especially confident and you end up getting a whole bunch of garbage characters, sometimes not even fit for fodder. So saving orbs would be a very good strategy, so that way you can use them all at once, utilizing pity rates if you don't get your 5-star in your first couple of polls. This way you're also efficiently using orbs, essentially using the buy 4, get 1 free system, because it goes first one 5, then 4, 4, 4, and 3. And if you did it another way, you would have wasted like 5 orbs, essentially. So, efficiency. Another good reason or rather tip to save your orbs, is the fact that very recently we've actually been getting a lot of feathers lately. So if you've got a good enough character that's 4-star, or maybe one of these Grand Hero characters, which all of them are pretty good, except for Berkut. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Yes. You could fill a role that you're missing, like maybe good bow user, and 5-star Clarice, and then like do something with her, and now you've got that role filled on your team. Just take any, 4-star, make them a 5, and suddenly they're going to be your new superstar. There's a lot of good 4-stars out there, so that's also another reason why you don't necessarily need to get 5-stars. Like, Male Robin can be a good 4-star if you use them correctly. A lot of characters out there can be used very well and efficiently as a 4-star, especially the Grand Hero battle units. They might be lacking a legendary weapon, but you can still make up for that and the 1 or 2 stat points they otherwise would have had. Another tip is to have a plan. It almost seems like it's the same thing as goal, but plan is more of the execution of said goal. It's your strategy. It's the groundwork you're going to lay down in order to achieve your goal. So to have a plan would be something along the lines of, I am going to roll on this banner until I get, say, a single 5-star. That would be a form of a plan. Or, which is surprising, I don't plan extremely well. My plan is to save up a huge amount of orbs and then spend them all on something that I want. That's not terribly efficient. What would be more efficient, however, is if I spent my orbs on the CYL banner, and then once I got the focus units that I wanted, I would stop pulling on those particular colors and then start fishing for the ones I have remaining, which I ended up doing later on, pretty much out of necessity. So that would be your plan. It's your plan of attack. If you go in without a plan, chances are you might come back devastated, which happens often. A lot of people I see in the comments, in the Discord, or other social media usually will tell me a small story about how they went in with a bunch of orbs and ended up coming back with nothing they wanted. Long story short, and also generalized. Keeping along with the tip of having a plan is to also set limits. For example, during the CYL banner, I set a limit. Once I get all of the focus units, I will stop. And I ended up holding to that, though it came pretty down to the wire. I almost didn't get Lucina. So as part of my plan, my limit was to get all of the CYL units. A limit you set for yourself could be something also like, I'm gonna pull on this banner until I get a 5-star, and that's it. Or you're gonna pull until you get a certain color 5-star, or maybe you're just fishing for fodder, and you're gonna go in and you're like, regardless of what I pull, I'm just gonna do a full 5-star summon and see what I get from that and use that as fodder and then go no further, or something like that. Limit is very useful to have, especially if you have the willpower to keep to it. So let's see here. Another tip is to utilize your resources. You've seen it on a pretty major scale in a lot of my gameplay and such, where I've shown how many heroes I have in my barracks. There's at one point I had maybe the downwards of 60. I don't quite remember. But every hero essentially has a purpose, even if you can't use them in combat. And as much as I like Henry as the character, him in Heroes got pretty shafted, and he's pretty much not suitable for combat. He's only good for fodder, as loath as I say it, and I know there's Henry fans that won't like this particular harsh truth. I mean, you could try to force him into combat, but he just doesn't really work with his odd bulk stats as a mage and his low attack. But he's generally used by the community as a whole. The majority of people use him as fodder for skills, maybe his 5-star tome or other stuff. So, utilizing your heroes to the utmost, using their skills, using their abilities, you know, transferring the skills of maybe one hero into another one so you can use that hero to greater effect during your gameplay, is one way to more readily use your resources so you feel less compelled to maybe replace said units with shinier, maybe better units than the ones you currently have. If you use your resources, you can make do with what you already have, albeit not the best units, but you can do good. For example, I don't necessarily have a great bow user. Takumi used to be king of the meta before skill inheritance, but now he's kind of above average, can't really excel. As far as bow users are concerned, the meta, the best characters are essentially the ones that can utilize quad builds, such as Setsuna and, most notably, Bridelia. I obviously don't have a Bridelia. However, through skill inheritance, utilization of my resources, and a little bit of ingenuity, I gave Clarice a Fire Sweep bow build, and it's a budget build because I only have Life and Death 2 and Swordbreaker 2. I've been using her to extremely great effect, and I have not regretted a single little bit of what I put into Clarice. Not the feathers, not the 5-star Fae, not any of the other heroes, or the time, or the SP that I spent on Clarice. She's been a phenomenal unit since I built her, and I couldn't be happier with her, honestly.
What's next?
Could I possibly be happier with a Brave Bow Bridelia? Maybe. But I'm actually satisfied with what I have right now. Ergo, I don't necessarily need to go out looking for any better bow units. I don't have to, but it would be nice if they came my way. So it kind of makes it more of a luxury that I don't have the compulsion to summon. So using compulsion as a springboard into the next tip, which is to wait. Now this is going to become very important in the next banner or two that are about to be announced / released, which is why I'm doing this video today, because everything looks great when it first comes out. All the units are great, all the skills are good, all the stats are amazing. It's like getting that new car smell. Everything's great. It's almost like getting a new car or moving into a new house. You know, you have that period of time where you can record possible deficiencies with said car or house and allow you to write it down and then annotate that in files so that way you know it's there and don't get charged for it or something. You kind of know what I'm getting at, right? So that's there so you get out of that quote-unquote honeymooning phase. Because when you get something, you automatically see it as new and great, when that might not necessarily be the case. Even when you're purchasing something, like, you know, as pre-owned. You don't see any faults with it when you're first in it. That's why they kind of call it honeymooning. I think, if I'm using the right term. But you wait a couple days, you let the hype fade a little bit, and then you take another look at the units and see if they're really worth the orbs. So hopefully all these tips that I kind of gathered up, wrote down, and talked about will help you guys in the coming days to essentially save your orbs and utilize them more efficiently. If you liked what I had to put out, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys.